Hello friends, I'm Dr. Veena Patel and you're watching my channel English Literature Gujris class. Alright. Review of the first chapter, The Writer on the Hill. When I started to read this book, I came across the following points to understand. It is a kind of travelogue. In other words, it is a travel novel. In the very first chapter, the writer Ruskin Bond, please improve that word, is really on the hill. He describes his experience. He says that his experience is just like yesterday's experience. He says about his experience that time passes and yet it doesn't pass. It is only you and I who are passing. It is Himalayan place about which he is talking to readers like us. Ruskin Bond says a very fine thing when he says that people come and go, but the mountains remain there. Mountains are permanent things. They are stubborn, refuse to move. Human being can blast holes out of them for their mineral wealth or strip them of their trees and foliage or dam their streams and divert their currents or make tunnels and roads and bridges. But no matter how hard they try, humans cannot actually get rid of these mountains. That is what the writer likes very much. In all roads lead to Ganga, the author claims his relationship with trees, wildflowers, even the rocks that are an integral part of it. He has also mentioned the human misdeed in the name of development. When men destroy all these natural surroundings, they will simply uproot themselves and march away. Whole forests on the move over the next range and the next, far from the haunts of men. Over the years, many forests disappear like that. Ruskin Bond rightly says that there is an outcry. It is suddenly fashionable to be an environmentalist, but it is just a fashion. He also mentions certain writers' names like Conrad, Melville, Stevenson, Masefield, etc., who have written about sea in their contributions. But less writers have written about mountains. Yet it is said that Taoist poets from old China had a true feeling for mountains. Kipling sometimes writes about hills, but the Himalayas do not appear to have given rise to any memorable Indian literature. For Ruskin Bond, the mountains have been kind. Nowadays, most hill stations are rich men's playgrounds, but 25 years ago, they were places where people of modest means could live quite cheaply. There were very few cars and everyone walked about. We know that Ruskin Bond writing stories, essays, poems, books for children. But He says that it was only after he came to live in the hills that he began writing for children. He mentions about his servant named Prem Singh who came to work for him as a boy from a village near Rudraprayag in Puri Garhwal. Then he married to Chandra and he had eventually three children named Rakesh, Mukesh, and daughter Savitri. For Rakesh, Ruskin Bond wrote a story about a cherry tree that had difficulty in growing up. He was rather frail as a child. For Mukesh, who liked upheavals, he wrote a story about an earthquake and put him in it. And for Savitri, he wrote a whole bunch of rhymes and poems. Kipling, in his contribution, Kim aptly said, who goes to the hills goes to his mother. Even Bond also aptly mentioned, when you have received love from people and the freedom that only the mountains can give, you have come very near the borders of heaven. Thus, the first chapter introduces as well as leads us directly to the forest lives. So, students, at the end of this chapter, I would like to suggest you that all roads lead to Ganga has merely 16 chapters. Read one by one and try to write a review at the end of each chapter. Then and then you will be able to write something as a whole. Thank you.